Voila! I got the doors installed. This is the one that I had to cut off. I cut off too much because I got greedy. I thought it was tighter than it was, so I took off a ½ inch, and you can see now I've got quite a gap, but it's okay. It's not a gap big enough that any sort of varmint's going to get through it, so I'm not worried. But I've got that one put on, and let me just turn you around. And I've got this one put on, which it's hanging open right now. But, I mean, it swings easy, you know, swings right shut, no problem. It's not shutting all the way because I got my power cord in there right now, but let me show you guys how the latches work. This is my wife and I over-engineering things like we like to do since we're both engineers. I was just going to simply put the gate latch on and drill a hole in the wood. So my plan was just to, so here's the latch. So the latch is just one of these simple, you know, sliding kind of barn door latch, whatever you want to call it, gate latch. And it's got an option where we can put a lock through here if we need to, if we're worried about varmints. I'll probably just put some sort of, you know, I don't think I need a key lock padlock, but I think what I can do is put something like a bungee cord here and then stretch the bungee cord over to that corner. And, you know, it'll be a tighter stretch than what a varmint can pull loose. So I'm not sure just yet what I'll have to do, but we'll just have to see how smart the varmints are, I guess. But anyway, what we ended up doing was, with the latch came with this little metal plate. And that was designed such that if you wanted to, you know, mount it here on the face, then you had the horseshoe bend for your rod here to slide through. Well, the thing is also designed, it has a hole in the middle of it, right there. So it's designed that you can inset it like this if you want to. And so, of course, my wife said, yes, we want to. We need to over-engineer it. So, again, I was just going to just drill a simple hole, you know, a little bit bigger than the latch for it to slide into, but instead she had me drill an extra large hole, 1.25 inches, and then set the latch inside of it, and then screw it in, and then drill through the wood beyond that. And so you'll see now, if I close the gate and I latch it down there, you can actually see, the end of the steel bar, oops, right there. So this is with it latched down, nice secure gate, no varmints. So anyway, that's it for the doors. I have it finally dug down and dropped in place. Now I know in most cases you'd want to put wire mesh on the inside and or the outside to keep varmints from digging in. I am really not too worried about varmints here yet. I mean, I caught that one raccoon, but that's because I set out a bowl of dog food as bait, you know, so I'm really not worried about it. But what I did was, you know, you guys noticed as I was doing the original construction, I had at each corner, I had a 2x4, you know, kind of spanning each corner to keep the thing lifted up off the ground, and that was so I could do all the construction and make sure it was all perfectly square as I screwed everything together. Now that it's square, I don't have to be, and it's all, you know, screwed together tight, I don't have to be as worried about it if it twists or bends a little bit, because I don't really think it will. The biggest thing was to keep it square until I got the doors put in and make sure they would all work. But so what I did was I went all the way around the edges here, and it's hard to see, you know, the soil contrast because everything's moist, but went all the way around the edges in here, and I dug it down just about 2 or 3 inches. Not too bad, not too deep. And once I had that done, I just, you know, stuck my hand underneath the edge here, picked it up, and pulled out, I think, my 2x4 shims. Pulled those shims out, or the supports, and then the others were laying down there. Pulled those out, and the whole thing just dropped in. I did have, there's some concrete here, because there used to be a gate put in there, and you can see it's really close to the concrete. It was sitting up on that, but I just gave it a little nudge, and it fell right in the trench. So now, with it down set in the trench, I'll go ahead and I'll backfill just real loose. Got my big pile of dirt here. I'll kind of just real lazily kind of push some back in, but honestly, I'll let the chickens backfill most of it. And I think what I'll do is I'll go out, I've got a whole bunch of oats scattered out in here. I was hoping they would sprout naturally. Some of them are. My hope was that they would sprout before I put the chickens in here so they have some good greenery. But anyway, I'm going to spread out some more oats, and then I'll spread that dirt back out. And then see, now I've got the pile that was in the middle cleaned up, and I've got it all dug out and spread out. And again, the chickens are going to come in here, and they're going to scratch around all the corners and probably dig a lot of it back out. But over time, we get a little bit of rain and stuff, it'll settle that soil back into those edges and kind of pack it down. Got a big pile of rocks and bricks here that I dug up as I was working, chunks of concrete. And actually what I'll probably do is along this front edge, because this is the edge that, you know, goes out towards the driveway, towards the gates, and towards the street. I darn sure don't ever want the bird to get out on this side and head, you know, that way towards the street, because if I get caught with these things, I'm in big trouble. Well, not in big trouble, the worthless HOA people who don't understand how to, you know, live like a normal person will tell me I have to get rid of them because they stink or some other sort of nonsense excuse. Maybe they'll try to tell me that they you know, carry salmonella and the whole world's going to get infected because I have chickens, because that's the sort of ignorant stuff they do. But, you know, most important thing with this, my neighbors are on board with it. They love it. They are certainly looking forward to getting plenty of free eggs. And with 18 pullets laying, we'll have, you know, probably more eggs than they can eat and than we can eat, and that, you know, 3 or 4 other neighbors can eat too. So, yeah. So anyway, what I think I'm going to do for right now, because I don't have the second extension built, so again, the birds are just in this little crappy coop right here for right now. I think what I'm going to do is put like I've got some 1x10s in the shop, put like a 1x10 stood up here, and on that corner over there, and then one in this corner over here between the wall and the garage, and then one here. And I think that'll be enough of a gap that I can, if I put the 1x10s in, then maybe put, you know, just tack in some wire or whatever I have to do to make the space where I'm standing isolated. The only problem is this space doesn't have, you know, we look up here, there's no roof over where I'm standing. But anyway, I think I can isolate this little area. And then if you look underneath here, there's a little trap door that pops down that I've got blocked up with that brick. I can open that little trap door, and then the birds can have access to both runs for right now. I'd really like to get them that, because again, they're pretty crowded. Even with, there's only 6 birds in there right now. Let me see if I can see them. Let me see if I can show you all the birds. I haven't showed them to you in a while. Let me see where they're at. Give you an idea of how big they are. Not in there. They must all be in their coop. I tell you, these lazy critters, they like to stay in the coop just about all day long. There's one hanging out. There she is. I gotta say, they're pretty ugly when they're in this juvenile state. But anyway, they're good-sized little birds already. They're certainly, with this little coop that they have right, or this little run that they have right now, they're certainly crowded. So I'd like to be able to get them more space to run while I get the extensions built. But anyway, that's it for now on building this first portion of the run. I'll have to start making some videos as I build the actual coop itself. Now the coop will go in this run. I'm going to start over at that edge there and run across here to this edge. So the coop will be about 30 inches wide by just shy of 8 feet long, and probably 2 feet high, 2 or 3 feet high, whatever. I mean, I'm willing to dedicate this whole area over here to the coop and have, you know, 2 feet underneath where they can still run around under there and scratch. So anyway, we are slowly marching on with progress.